Hi everybody, this is Patrick from DoggieDashboard. Today I'm going to show you how to create reusable invoice items. So a reusable invoice item is just that it's an item that you can use on multiple invoices. Here on the new invoicing page, if we go down here to the drop-down boxes for invoice items, you'll see there's nothing showing up besides just this custom. That's something we can use to make a one-off item. But let's say we have certain items that we want to put on multiple invoices because we do it often, something like overnight boarding, something like half-day daycare, maybe an exit bath or something like that, or a dog walk. Up here at the top, if you don't have any invoice items saved in your system, you're going to see this red warning message. And all you have to do is click here on the step 1 box or click this red box right there. And that's going to take you to the page where you create your reusable invoice items. So let's just get started. We'll do something simple. We'll say we have a full day of daycare, which is $35, and that gets saved. And then we have a half day of daycare, which is $25. That gets saved there. And then we're going to do overnight boarding one dog. That'll be $25. And then we're going to do overnight boarding two dogs. And we'll give them a small discount for two dogs. If it's 25 for one, let's say it's 40 for two. And then we'll do something like an exit bath. This tends to be quite popular. When you give a dog a bath before they leave, that's going to be 35. So we're all set. Now, if we go to the new invoice page here, you're going to see the red warning message is gone. And if we scroll down here, you'll now see your items. We still have that custom there. You can always use that if you want to create a custom item just off the top of your head. But if you want to do something, you can also select the ones you've created, which is the exit bath, full day daycare, half day daycare, overnight boarding, and that. So let's just create a quick little invoice here for, let's see, Winston Churchill, popular name there, for his dog Happy. It's going to be March 20th is due. And let's just say something very simple. It's overnight boarding for one dog. Let's say he came for a week. We'll say it was 6 nights worth of boarding, so that's 150. And we give it the Happy a bath when he leaves, so it's going to be 185 total. Let's finalize that invoice, and we're set. We can see that we have the overnight boarding one dog for $25 per unit. We have 6 of them for 150. Everything looks good to go here. Now, let's imagine that we want to change the price of our exit bath. Let's say instead of charging 35, we want to charge 40 for that. What we can do is we don't want this past invoice to change because this is an invoice that's already been created. We need to create a new invoice item using the new price, and that's what's going to happen right now. We're going to edit this from 35 to 40. So we go here and we type 40 here. Let's do 40, and we can get rid of that there and edit the invoice item. So now it's $40 here. However, if we go back to this initial invoice, it's still going to say 35 because it was created using the initial price point. If we go back to the new invoice page, however, you're going to see that the 35 exit bath no longer exists, but the 41 does exist. So we're all good to go. The new one is showing we can only create them for the 40. Now, one thing is when you do change a price, if any invoice used that initial price, it's still going to show up in the invoice, and it's also going to show up when you go to edit. So if we go to edit here, you can see we still have that $35 bath showing here because it's been used on this invoice. However, as I said, if we go to try to create a new invoice, it doesn't exist anymore. So that's how that works. Lastly, you can also remove things. So let's create another invoice. Let's add some daycare. So we have this, and let's say we have full day daycare, and we have $70 worth of that. We're going to update the invoice to 55. So we're all set. We're good to go. This invoice has been paid. It's all good. We have that money in the bank. Now let's say change our business and we want to get rid of some of these. Let's say we want to get rid of full day daycare and half day daycare because we no longer do that. We only do boarding. We're just going to delete these right here. So those are gone. If we go to create a brand new invoice, you're going to see that they do no longer show up. The daycare have been taken out. We only have that exit bath and the 2 overnight boardings. However, the same thing goes. On this past invoice that used full day daycare, it's still going to show up at the original price at the time the invoice was created because that needs to show up. And if we go to edit it, you're still going to see that full day daycare option right there. Now, let's say you were to change this to something like, let's just get rid of it. Let's go like that and zero it out. We save this new invoice, or we update the invoice. Now that since this invoice is no longer using that daycare option, when we go to edit here, they will not show up anymore. So the only reason the daycare was showing up is because this invoice used that initial price point. If the invoice does not use any of the old price points, they won't show up. And so that's how you can create, edit, and delete reusable items. Just remember, once you change the price, any invoices that use the initial price will still show the initial price. Otherwise, all the past invoice values would change, and we don't want that happening. Invoices that are sent need to remain at the price they were sent at. If you do want to use the new price, you just need to erase that old invoice and create a new one. And same goes, if you remove an invoice item that was used in an invoice, it's still going to show up on that past invoice at that initial price, the original price, but you will no longer be able to use it in any future invoices. Hope this video helps. If you have any questions, info@DoggieDashboard.com. Otherwise, have a great day. Bye.